This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so like yesterday we are discussing about the different normalization, the acid properties, the fundamentals to the database, right? Now let's dig into the what is called the database, how we can store the data, or if the data is inside, how to retrieve all these things, right? So let me just share my screen. Okay, so let me open an Excel file for you first. Okay, so this is an Excel file which contains the sales data. If you see, there are multiple columns we have. Right? So it is like the row, the order ID, the order date, the ship date, ship mode, customer information, city, states, like multiple columns we have. Products, then there is their sales, their quantity, how much discount you are having, and how much profit you are having. So this is basically a sample kind of data for a, you can imagine for a company where different sales is happening and customer is doing sales and they are buying the products and they are from different regions, right? And whenever they are buying it, it is capturing the order ID for that, okay? And when they ordered, okay, the order date, all these things, right? And along with their ship date, where the product will be shipped, and what is the customer, who are the customer, all this information is just there. All right. So in Excel, if you want to like capture this data, it is quite easy, right? It's like we can just create a new sheet and just try to create it, and we just start putting it simply, right? Like order date, hmm, or customer name. Just put the headings and start putting the data as far as that. Suppose A, B, C, whatever may be, correct? So it is just like the simple logic. Like we just put the headings on the first row and next subsequent rows will start the data. Right? As simple as this in Excel. But if that is this data, if I want to store inside the database, I can directly store directly what I'm doing in the Excel. Right? So for that, we need to follow some process, and how to do that, let's see that. First, both will combine. Okay. So for that, first of all, let's go to open your SQL Server. So once you install your SQL Server, guys, so if you write in the search SQL, so this one area will be there. This is your tool, Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So for me, it is 18. I don't know about the latest version. It's 19. Whoever installed. Rajni, what is the version you have? 19 or 18 point something?
18 point something actually.
Okay, that's right. So what could be the version? So we just need to click on this. Okay. So to work with the SQL Server Management Studio. And I think, Vali, you know that like SQL Workbench you should do have, right? For the
Yes,
MySQL.
yes, I have
Yeah,
SQL Workbench.
correct. So whatever maybe, so that's the like the medium where you can start working with the SQL. Just click on this. Now, in this case, in case of SQL Server, right? So, suppose you want to connect to the SQL Server. So, anyway, suppose you want to connect to a database, or suppose, so let's take you want to log into your Gmail. Okay. So, how you are doing it? You're putting Gmail or into search box Gmail. Then, what extra you are putting there to log in?
For ID, password.
Yeah. Correct. So your user ID, and your user ID is nothing but your email. Then you are putting your password. So that step is called your authentication. Okay, that is called your authentication. That terminology is called in real time called the authentication. Means you are authenticate to log into the Gmail box because you have an account. The same way, suppose you are logged into the SQL server, you need to authenticate. So here, actually, there are multiple types. Okay, so we are not talking about the Azure now because this area is completely cloud. Okay, but I'm talking about these two authentication. First is the Windows authentication. Second one is called the SQL Server authentication. So basically, what is the difference between these two is that Windows authentication, if you keep it right, so it will take the Windows login. So you are logging to your laptop, right? And you are logging through some user ID password, right? So it is asking, right? So that login will take as a login to the SQL server. That is called your Windows authentication. All right. Any doubt on the first one?
No, we are good.
Okay. Yeah. Second one is the SQL Server authentication. In this case, if you have a login and password, it is suppose sometimes in a real-time organization, right? They enabled both the things. Some enabled Windows authentication. So whatever you are logging to the laptop, the same it will take to the SQL Server as well. And sometimes they will authenticate to the SQL Server authentication. That time the login and the password will be they need to provide, or the database team needs to provide that which login you need to login and password. How I will get the login and ID and the password through which I can log in there. But in this case, I have set up through the Windows authentication only. So I will use this. Then let's connect here. And here, the service type automatically it will select the database engine only. So there are multiple steps are there here. Okay. But since we are talking about the SQL Server database, because SQL Server have other functionality also, like reporting, integration, all these things. But we are talking about the database. So if it is not selecting the database engine by default, select the database engine only. Okay. And the server name here in real time, it will be different because my server and my database are on a single system only because I'm talking about my laptop only. So the laptop server name will be localhost only. That's it. Because there is no server name separately for me. It will be localhost because the server lies under my laptop only. So that is called the local host. Okay. Now let's connect. Okay. So this is asking for it. Now in this part, this is the login. Now the most important part is your call the database. Okay. Let's try to expand the database here. Okay. So I have multiple database here, but for you, when you first time login, this will be empty. There is nothing will be there. Okay. It will be completely blank except in the system databases, these four will be there: master, the model, MSDB, and TempDB. These four will be there, but in the other areas, whatever the database you are seeing, right? Demo, department, all these things, this will be blank because this is I only created. Okay, and this all four are something like the SQL Server is automatically created. That's why it is called the system databases. Now, what is database? If you see this icon, right, it is clearly saying that it's a container. Okay, so it is just a play area where you can capture your data, just like your file system, right? Suppose this is a file. Excel file is storing in the form of a XLX or XLX file, right? So if you open the file, then only you are getting this data, correct? So like that file, whatever you are saying, that file is not nothing but your database here. Okay. Uh, now you can tell me like which database I will work on. Create your own database. So how to create your own database here? Just right click on this database folder. Okay. Right click on this and click on new database. Okay. And give a name. Simple name you want to give here. So whatever your name you can suggest it, but that database will work on everything for your practice. Okay. So I already have a SQL practice. So let's give it like SQL what I'll give SQL demo, yeah, something like that. Anything you can give, okay? It's not a problem. SQL demo, okay? Now, okay, that's it. Once it is done, right, this area, this database will come into picture. Automatically, that will be there here, okay? Now, to work on this database, now database is created, okay? So it means like you have created a folder on your system and you want to go inside. Suppose just let's take this is my folder inside that I created, right? So this I created. So if I not go inside this folder, I will not able to do anything, right? Suppose inside the SQL Server folder, I want to put some file or any kind of information I want to keep it inside the folder. So I need to go inside the folder first, right? Then only I can do something. So same way, the folder is getting created for you, but you want to get inside that to do something, right? So for that, what we will do, just right click on this database and click on the new query. Okay, so the new query means there will be a query window will open up. We'll discuss what is the new query. So just click on the new query. So in the right hand side, one white patch will come. Okay, here you can do your things. Like this is your folder area, something like this. This is the same white area, what you're seeing that. This is the same white area here. But here we need to go with the commands. Okay, make sense now? Any doubt up to now? Just let me know. Any questions? Anybody? Any questions here till now?
Actually, I missed the first 5 minutes class. So that I mean, like, is it going to like editor to write the queries or to retrieve data? Something?
Go ahead. What is that? Sorry, I didn't get your question.
Actually, I missed the first 5 minutes class.
Mhm.
So is that the one? I mean, like editor where we are going to IE kind of thing to
Yeah.
retrieve
Yes.
data? Oh,
Correct.
okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is the IDE for the SQL service. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you understand that how to create the database and how to get this ID to write it in, right? You got it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Now, basically, now this is done. Now, what we will do inside? Let's expand the database here in the plus. What are the objects we have inside this the database? Let's see that. So we have tables, okay? Then we have views. So many things are there. So the most important object for the database is called the tables, right? The tables is nothing but, as I told, it's like just a row and column structure. So if you expand the tables here, I don't have any table right now because I have not created anything. Okay. So let's try to simplify this process, how to create a table and all. Okay. So I'm giving Excel example because it will be easier to understand all these things. Okay. So here, let's take, I want to create a table. Okay. How we'll do in a table in this case? Let's take, these are the 4 columns. Let me take a few columns. Okay. Order date, customer name, and let's take segment and something kind the row ID, and let's take the sales. Okay, so these are the 4 5 columns I want to create it. Okay, in Excel file. So what I'll do, I'll just put my headings, right? Row ID, order date, customer segment, customer name, the segment and sales. These are the 5 columns I want to create it in Excel file. Let's take an example. Okay, so I'll put row ID 1, order date. Let me copy some row ID, sorry, order date from the earlier sheet. So this is my format. Okay, all right. So this is my format. The customer name, I will take some customer name also. Okay, this guy. Okay. segment is middle segment, let's take middle, and sales is, let's take 150. Okay, so like that, one by one we can enter it, right, in Excel. But this is an Excel file, is already a row and column is there for you, and where you can enter it. Okay, but this is not available on your database. Is there any row column you are finding? No. So the first point is that we need to create a structure first with the row column. So I need to create a structure with rows and columns so that I can enter my data. And basically this is the structure I want to create it. To create the structure, okay, or basically to create a structure in database, okay, to store the data. All right. So that structure you is talking about is the table. Okay. So how you will create a table? Do I need to write table something like that in this area? Table create something like that I need to do? No. So there should be a syntax through which we can need to perform the database, to the performance or this operations we need to perform, and we need to follow one standardized, okay, standardized language in the sense, suppose how you are speaking right now, right? You are talking in English, right? Or it could be any of your mother tongue also, right? If you want to communicate, right? So you are communicate with certain language so that the opposite person can understand, right? So same way, if we want to interact with the database, right, then you should communicate with a language. That language is called your SQL. Okay, it is called structure query language. Okay, so it's basically this is the language, and each language have a syntax, right? How you are communicating to English, right? There is a grammatical phase. There will be some adverbs. There will be some nouns. Everything we need to put it across to make a statement, right? Same way, every language, whatever the rules you have, same rules we have in the SQLs also. We need to follow that rule to create the structures or anything, any sorts of things we want to do inside the SQL, we need to do that. Make sense? Any questions till now? We are clear?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm good.
great.
Okay. So now, actually, basically the SQL or the language, right? As I told you that suppose if I want to categorize the language across the world, so many languages will come into picture, right? The universal is English. Then some other language, the French, the Germany, the Spanish, different languages. Then it will come to the regional based. Then there will be so many languages. So there is so much diversity is there in the normal speaking language. The same way the SQL language, the structured query language also categorized into multiple stuffs. Okay. So let me first put it this way. The first categorization is called the DDL. So it is called data definition language. Okay. Second is called the DML. It is called data manipulation language. Just this is the categorization. Okay. Everything will comes into the SQL only. Okay. Third one is called the DQL, that is called data query language. Okay, then fourth one is DCL. Okay, I am not talking about right now the syntax and the definition also. This 4 and 5 will very later it will come into picture. So the most three parts right now is about your DDL, your DML, and the DQL. Okay. In the DDL, couple of statements will come. That is called, first is called the create. Okay. Second will be the, we'll discuss completely this, don't worry. Alter. See, it will be drop, and last will be the truncate. Okay, this is about your 4 commands inside the data definition language. And if I talked about the data manipulation language, it will be insert, update, delete. Okay, and the data query language or the data retrieval language, this is the only one which is most important, that is called the select. Okay, so most of your life in the database comes into the select only. So these are the parts most probably you will not use in real time, but you should know this. Okay, so let's start with the create. As the name suggests is that it will create something. Okay, now let's try to understand that. Okay, I told you that these are the columns I want to capture inside my table. So in the database, I want to create a table first, or table structure with a row and columns with my headings. These are the headings I want to create it, and based on that I want to create the table structure first. So the syntax is here. One more thing, if you want to write the syntax in small letter, capital letter, no problem. Okay, you can do anything, whatever best suits to you, you just do it. Okay, so now how to create the table here? We need to say create. First is the create table, create. Then what you want to create? I want to create a table, so I will say table. Then the syntax would be always this, like this: create table, then 2 parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we need to specify the headings for this. Suppose I want to create row ID, order date, customer name, segment, and sales. These are the 5 columns I want to create. So let's do that. First of all, let me copy this. I want to first create row ID. Okay. Then you need to put a comma. Okay. Comma
We
means,
have,
go
sorry,
ahead.
we have to give some table name, right? First.
Yeah, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that.
Oh,
I'm not completing the syntax. Okay. Yeah. Then suppose it will be the order date. Okay. Then you need to put comma. So each and every column heading will be separated by the comma only. Okay. Then it will be your customer name. Okay. Then comma. Then your segment. Very simple. Okay. Then comma. Then sales. Okay. Now these are the columns here. Now if I ask you, this sheet name, there is a name to this sheet, right? This is called orders. This is sheet 1. This is returns. This is people, all this. So there is a name to this. If I say go to the orders, order tab, so you are just clicking on this. In this, that all the columns and all the data are there. So there is a name to that. So that you should give a name to the certain things. So this part of what, right? This is part of X or Y or Z or whatever this. So that is called your table name. Okay. So we are create table. Then it should be you should give a meaningful name table. So I'm giving orders. Okay.
Samir,
This
I'm
is.
sorry. Nargis is messaging in the WhatsApp that she can't see, it seems.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Other people able to see, right, my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Oh,
Yes,
1 second.
even I can.
Okay, let's her join region. Now here, one more typical point which I want to discuss is very important. Is called in case of the Excel, right? Suppose you have given row ID, and immediately you know that okay, row ID it will be 1, it will be 2, it will be 3, it will be 4, it will be 5. Okay, so you know that these are numbers. Okay, order date, after seeing the number you are saying that okay, order date, it basically it will be a date column. Okay, so you just putting immediately you are putting in a date, month, year, or month, date, year, whatever name. So same for the customer name. You are saying that okay, customer name could not be one. Okay, it could be a name. Same kind of segment. And when it comes to the sales, we say that okay, how much sales? It will be numbers 250, 300, 500, 1,000, billion, millions, and that. But by seeing this, you are just typing immediately. Okay, but we are not specifying that what kind of data it stores. This works in Excel, but this will not work in your database. So what we need to do is that whenever you are defining the column, we need to specify along with that what kind of data it will store inside. So that we need to specify. That is called the data types. Okay. So now Nargis, you are able to see. Hello. Nargis, you are able to see?
Yeah, right now.
Okay. So till from what time you are not able to see that?
From you create the table,
Sorry, come again. What is that?
you create the table, then you name the customer's name and the job
Oh,
like the date.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
after that.
All right. So we are just in the verge of this one. So this is we are just planning to create this table. This okay. So now as column name, I was explaining that each and every column whenever you are putting in the Excel, right? So by seeing the column name itself, we'll just typing the values. So by seeing the name called order date, we'll make an impression that okay, it could be a date, and we start putting the date in the proper format. Okay, it could be date, month, year, could be month, date, year, or whatever name. Or if I go to the customer name, I suggest this customer name could not be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be a name. Okay. Same if I go to the sales column, I predicted the sales could not be like ABC. It could be like always the numbers, millions, millions, and all. This works always fine with Excel by seeing this. But when you are defining this in your database along with the column name, so row ID is my column name, along with I need to define the data type for that. Data type in the sense what kind of data the column should store. Okay, so that is the definition is called data types. Data types means what? We need to specify the type of data. Okay, types of data that defines the type of data.
What
So
is
we
segment?
have.
Segment. What is
Huh?
segment?
I'm not able to hear you.
There is a written segment. What is that?
Which
In the
statement?
table. In the table.
This
Can
one?
you show the table? Can you show the table, please?
Actually, your voice is breaking, I guess, for me. For everybody is the same, or how is that?
I think she is asking about segment.
Yeah, segment.
Segment. This one?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is a column name. In the Excel also we have a segment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So which segment the product is belongs to? If you see the order table, right, I have a segment table, right? Which is consumer or corporate or is home appliances and all. This column that talking about. Okay, make sense now?
Yeah.
Okay, so the data type is called the types of data. So in a database, based on the database, there could be number of data types. Okay, and we no need to remember by on your heart, like these are the data types. I know that. Don't worry about that. So you just go to one link. This is called the Microsoft SQL Server link. Okay, I'm just pasting this chart in this and make it handy. This is for your reference. Okay, not able to put it. I'll put it this one. I'm not able to put it right away. Yeah, check. Now it is okay. Okay, so this is about your the link which will put it here. So this will be storing. It will just give an impression of what are the data types we have. Okay, so here if you click on the data types, right, it will show you that this is the numeric one. So we have int, big int, money, all these things. So many data types about the int. Suppose you want to store any kind of decimal fractional value, 12 point something, the float and real is there. Suppose you want to store the date and time both, then it is date and time. For the characters, it will be character, varchar, string, all these things. So just have a go through this, what is exactly. It is not required to remember all these things also. Just just for your information, just go through that. This is the Microsoft SQL Server documentation where you will get all the data types. Okay, but here the main agenda is this one. Now, as per the Excels, so row ID we are keeping a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all these things we are keeping it, right? So the row ID will be an integer. So where you will specify the data type after the column name, give a space, then you specify your data type. Okay, it will be int. Okay, then order date. Since the order date we are keeping as a date, if you are keeping time, it will be date and time. If it's only date, then space, then you can say date. Okay, then customer name. Customer name is multiple of characters. C, L, or this in fact. So for that character, if you see, go to the documentation here. What is the data type for the character? So character is a single character. If it is a multiple characters of this, right? The main you need to put it the data type called varchar. So it will be something like varchar. Okay, and in the varchar only you need to type the size in the sense how many customers. Suppose here how many characters we are putting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the space 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you give a prediction saying that okay, this is the length or this many characters I want to put inside my customer name. That could be extending, so you can put max whatever the possibility. Yeah, okay, so here one way to do that, either you can put 200, so it will be like 200 characters it will allow inside my customer. Okay, or if you say 500, 2500, you can put 2500 character. Suppose you are not sure that how much it could be, you can put max. So it will take maximum number, whatever you want to put it. Okay. Same. Now the segment also we are keeping characters, MIDDLE, all these things, right? So segment again it will be varchar. Again I'm putting max. Okay. Then sales is again the normal integer type. So row ID, however this is there, it will be the int. Okay. Now this is a basic syntax to create it. Now create is a keyword, table is a keyword, then this is the table name which you are saying, that order or orders, whatever may be. Let's take order or orders, whatever may be. Okay. Now specifying the column name, row ID, then space, then the data type which defines this column name. So the row ID will store the integer kind of data. Order date is storing the date, customer name is varchar, segment is varchar, sales is int. if you see, there are some underlines are coming. Okay, so let's see what is the problem with that. Okay, so first of all, if you see this row ID, column name, okay, here we are specifying, sorry, in the Excel file we are saying the row space ID. Okay, so here we are giving a space to the column name. In database, if you are directly giving the space to the column name, right, it will not take it. Okay, there are two ways to fix this. Suppose the column name is having a space. First point is that either you don't provide any space, okay, you just simply do like this, row ID without space anything, okay, or suppose you want to give a space, definitely you want to give a space. Either two ways are there. First of all, embed inside the double quotes. Okay, this is the first way. Okay, or embed inside your square bracket. Either way is fine. So both the ways will fine. If you embed inside double quotes or put it inside the square bracket, then only the column name will allow you to give the space. Okay. Same, this is for the order date also. It will not work out. So I'm taking this way. You can take the double quotes way also. It's fine. But I like this way because I followed this way to do it. So I'm doing it this way. Okay. Now same customer name also, the space is there. We'll just do it. Now all the errors goes out here. Okay. Segment, why it is not giving error? Because there is no column name with a space. So it is taking a single, this is a single word. Okay. Sales int. Okay. Now after this syntax, we need to put a semicolon. Semicolon in the sense that is the end of your statement. Okay. This is required, not required? Yes. Why it is required? Because after this line, suppose you want to execute something, so this is represent the end of the statement. Okay. Now create this. Create. Just create table orders. Any questions up to now? Then I will execute this. Any doubt up to now on this part?
Can we use row underscore ID without the square brackets?
Correct. Correct. We can do that. Yes, we can do that. That way you can do that. Suppose I'm saying you want to give a space, then this is the way. Otherwise, you can put underscore. Yes.
Mhm. Thanks.
Yeah. Any further questions?
The data type should always be in uppercase, or we can declare it as in
No.
like
Everything syntax can be lowercase, can be uppercase. No matters.
okay.
Nothing matters. Yeah. There is no case sensitivity here. Okay. Okay. Now select this and execute. Okay. Either you can press the F5 and execute or directly execute on. Execute. So it is saying that commands complete successfully. Okay. So this table got created. Where you can see this, go to your SQL demo, because how you are creating this table inside a database, right? Which database? We just created a SQL demo. It is showing it here also. See, this is the SQL demo. So we are inside the SQL demo and creating a orders table here. So now SQL demo, just expand it. Where is my table? I'm not able to get it. I just created already. Completed successfully. It is not. It is not showing me right now because this is a refresh issue. So just right click on the database, click on the refresh. Okay. Now expand the table here. Okay, see, this is the table got created. We just now created. So what is this DBO? We created a name called orders. Okay. What is this DBO? So just think like DBO is database object. Okay. So that is a default schema for the SQL Server. What is schema? Schema is something like, let's say this database is used for so many tables. Okay. So this database holds HR related data. This database also holds some sales related table. Then this database holds also finance related table. Okay. So inside a database, suppose you have different kinds of tables for the different teams, right? How you can differentiate that which table is used for what? So at that time, the schema name will be come into picture. So you have a schema called sales, it will be HR, and it will be a finance, so that it will be like sales dot orders, means we say that okay, this is a sales related table, HR dot something, finance dot something. So that is the schema, that is called a schema. So whenever you are creating a table inside the SQL server, and if you are not specifying anything, the default schema is called the DBO, which is called the database object. Make sense? Okay. Now the table got created. Now I want to see this data. So is there any data is there? Suppose this order got created. So I have this file already, this file. If I want to see the data inside that, what I will do? I just right click on this and open it, or double click on that and open it to see the data, right? So that opening part of the Excel is called your select. Okay, select is nothing but opening of the file, okay, to see the inside the content of the table. This is called your select, which is called nothing but your called data query language. Okay, now this table was created. Now Control C, and I say select space my table name. But here the select will not work like this, select and my table name, but we need to specify that what exactly I want to see from the table. So here when you opening your file, do I specifying that what exactly I want to see? No, I just want to see whatever the content inside that file, I just want to see. That's it, right? So that basically whatever the content I want to see in the file, that represent in the database is called your star. Star means everything. Okay, select star, that is called everything. Now we need to specify the star means everything, but it's saying that from where, like from the table, but we need to specify one keyword here. Select all the column from. Very simple. Okay, select star from, mean the sense select everything from the table. Okay, or the table name. Now execute this. See, basically this is the thing is there. So it is basically this right now. Let me remove this column. This the same whatever the heading we created without the data, same it is there right now in my database. Row ID, order date, customer name, segment and sales. All right, this structure we got created. Make sense now? Any questions till now? Okay.
How will you add schema to that orders table? If suppose the orders
New
table
schema.
into the sales, yeah.
A new schema you are talking about. We'll discuss that, but not now. There is a statement called create schema. Okay. We'll
Oh,
see
okay.
that. Yeah, we can create, but not now. Okay. So now this is the one. Now for this, we want to now you want to insert some data for this row ID. So whatever you are having, right? This same information, row ID 1, this is the order date, this is the customer name, this is the segment. Next thing, this is not middle, it should be consumer. Okay, so consumer and the sales. So this first row, I want to same whatever I inserted into the Excel file, same I want to insert inside this table. Okay, when I retrieve it. So that insertion is the next statement would be your insert. Okay, insert table. Okay, insert means inserting the data into the table. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, how to insert. Now next statement would be the insert. The syntax is insert into, these are predefined statement. Okay, we can't change it, like select star from, you say that I'll start part select, then from, then star. We can't do that because there is a syntax we need to follow. That's it. So insert into, then your table name. Okay, where do you want to insert? Okay, insert into the table name which you created, then values. Okay, then we need to insert one by one. So now question would be, I have a sequence of column, first with the row ID, then with the order date, then with the customer name, then segment and sales. Can't we do like, I'll start first inserting for the sales, then for the row ID, then for the customer name? No. The sequence, the column which will be there on the table, the sequence of the inserting of the values also should be remains the same. Okay, it could be first with the row ID, second one will be the order date, then customer name, then segment, then sales. So now let's try to insert the first ID, row ID. I say 1, whatever I'm inserting in the Excel, same. Okay, 1, then comma. Then order date is a date type. So I want to insert the data for the order date. How much I inserted? 8/11/2016. Okay, so this is I'm inserting. So whenever you are inserting a data for the date column, that is always embedded inside your single quotes. We can't put it directly columns. So it will be 8/11/2016. Okay, then comma. Then I'm inserting for the customer name. Customer name is what? This guy, right? Claire Gulati. Again, this is a string value. I want to put it in this way. Okay. Then the segment. Segment also is my consumer. Okay, consumer. Then the sales. Sales is how much? 150. I inserted. Okay. Now insert into this one. Now let's create it. Now execute. So he's saying that one row affected. So one row got inserted to the order. Now again select it. So let's start from the orders to see the data from the table. Now if you see exactly this is the data. 1/2016, Claire Gulati, consumer. Don't bother about the format. Whatever I inserted, it take this month, year, month, and date. We can change it. Don't bother about the format right now, but just see that this data is created. So this is same as whatever I am right now in my Excel file. So how we have created the table, how we have selected the table, there is no data, and this is the insertion. Okay. Now suppose I want to insert one more way, one more rows. So I need to fire one more statement. On the same statement, we can change this, or you can just put one more statement here. So insert into one more. So let's take this is 2. This is, let's take 9. Let me take one more customer. Will be Peter, Pete Grich. So this is one more. Okay, so consumer, and let's take this. He's saving a sale of 200. So now let's run the second one. Execute. So the one more row got affected. Now if I select start from order, how many rows it will come?
2.
2.
2. Okay. So 2 records. Okay, 1 record, 2 records. So this is the way we are doing it. All right, make sense now? Okay. All right. So let me insert one more also, just for a sec, because I need some multiple data here to explain something. Okay. Let me take one more. Let me change to home office. Okay, and let's take 450. So one more record I'm inserting to the my order tables. Now if I select it, it will come up 3 rows now. Okay, Make sense now? Insertion this time. Now, this sheet I'm just deleting now. It's not required. Now you understand this one. Save this file also. Okay. Okay, now in the order date. So I have my row ID, order date on all these things. Now let me tell you, there are multiple row IDs we have. Okay, in the Excel file, let's take, suppose I want to see the row ID equals to 15. Only that row I want to see. What I'll do?
We'll give that particular row ID while selecting.
Okay. Just it is just like this. Okay. Just now, what I'll do now? I want the row ID equals to 15. That row I want to just see. Instead of so many rows I have, right? I just want to see this row. In my whole data, I just want to see the 15th number row or the row ID where it is 15. What I will do now in Excel file? If somebody knows, please tell me.
What is the question again?
Yeah, question is, this is the data in Excel file, right? So I have n number of rows, like around 10,000 rows I have. My requirement is, I just want to see the row ID equals to 15. That row I want to just see in the Excel. That's it, that row only. What I will do?
Let's click on the ID, row ID, and select shift end.
So first of all, yeah. So the first of all, we need to put some kind of filter mechanism on the headers so that I can select at least. Right now, I can't select right now. Okay. So first of all, we need to put the filter. Okay. So I think in the data level it is there somewhere. Yeah. So if you click on the data, there is a filter. Okay. You can enable this directly, or there is a shortcut also, Control Shift L. Okay. To enable and disable. Okay. Control Shift L in Excel. So now the filter is in each and every column headers. There is a filter drop down is there. Now from the drop down, if you click on this, then you can select it, right? Either you can unselect it and you just go down and select the 15. Okay, row ID equals to 15. So that I will see only this data, right? It is something like out of the 10,000 rows, we are just filtering the row number 15. Any questions on this at least? Because I want to implement it in the database also. Why I'm doing it in Excel? Because it will be easier to understand what exactly I'm trying to do in the database also. Now it is clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's do that. Now if I unselect it, again select all, and it will give all the data to me. Okay. So here, if I'm doing a filter, it is not doing any kind of changes to my data. It's just like out of the 10,000, I'm just selecting something. Okay. So what I need to do? So in my database, I have 1, 2, and 3. There are 3 records. So from here, I want to see only the record row ID equals to 2. So same whatever you did in this case, row ID equals to 15. So for that, we need to, after the table name, we need to put a where condition, like filter condition, whatever you are doing in Excel. If we want to give a filter condition in the table in the database, that will be like where condition, where. We need to put where, then we need to specify the column name. Again, this is the problem here. If you see this, when you are defining the column name with this space, we are embedded inside the square bracket. The same principle lies here. Okay. Whenever retrieving also, suppose the column name have some space. Either you can put a double quotes or like this. Row ID equals to 2. Okay. This is syntax. So select star from the orders where row ID equals to 2. Okay, now execute it. So you will see only that record, same whatever you did in the Excel file. Alright, this is called your where clause. Where clause is nothing but to put the filters. Make sense? Yes? Okay, good. So another way, suppose you just click on this. Now there is another field. This is the overall data we have here. Okay, this all these things. Hmm? There is a number filters. We have equals to, not equals to, all these things also we have, right? Right? Like suppose I want to see the row ID greater than 10. So something like that. So greater than 10 means I can't select directly from here, right? One by one, one by one, one by one. So I say row ID, I say greater than or equals to or greater than whatever may be. So I say greater than or equals to, then I put my value here, 10. Okay, then we say okay. So whatever is satisfying row ID greater than 10 or greater than equals to 10, only those row IDs are giving to me, right? If I want to implement the same in the database, what I will do? I say row ID. I have 1, 2, 3 only. So I say greater than equals to 2. So I'll get how many records? 2 and 3, correct? If I execute this, I'll get this. Okay, so you can do greater than, less than, not equals to, all these things. Okay, now let me give an example of not equals to also. Greater than you understand, and not less than, less than not equals to, you can do that. It's not a big deal. So now I say that doesn't equals to, equals to you understand, does not equals to. So I say does not equals to, let's take 15. I just want to clear first of all. Let me clear this filter, then we'll do that. Clear filter, okay. Then I say number filter does not equals to 15. So what does it mean? It means that in this database, the 15th number, the row ID will be not present. If you see, after 14, there is no 15. So we are saying that not equals to, not equals to. Okay. So how to put the not equals to in the database? Say I have row ID 1, 2, 3. I say row ID not equals to, like this, not equals to 1. Okay, not equals to 1. So it will execute only the 2 and 3 it will give you, not equals to. Okay, I think this is the syntax, and I think one more way also. Let me say this SQL Server works like this. Not equals to 1. I think both will work, I guess. Yeah. So the not equal to operator could be this also, this and exclamatory and equals to. This is both are not equal to operator. Okay. Either way we can choose it. Okay. Any questions up to now?
No, Samir, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. Now taken another example here of the row filters. Let me clear it. Go to the row ID and number filters. We have almost we checked it, like equals to, doesn't equals to, greater than, all these things we checked it. Okay. Now I'm just want to see the between one. Very important. Equals to, all these things we discussed. Now take a between. Between. So it is something like between means greater than equals to and less than equals to, something like that. Okay. So let's take, I'm saying that 10 and 20. So it is what we are saying, that it should be, the row ID should be greater than equals to 10 and less than equals to 20, something like that. You are saying that. Okay. So if it will give you the records between 10 to 20, including the first one and including the last value. So it is just like a between operator. Okay. So how we'll implement this in database? We can say row ID. I have very less data, that's fine, but I just want to see that. So I say row ID greater than equals to 1. And here what you specified, if you see this properly, you are saying that and right here, this and this, right? So that and is in this database is also and only. And same row ID less than equals to 3 in this case for us. Okay. So now if I say execute, so it will work out. Okay. Make sense? Two conditions if you are give the end. I'll discuss what is the end and what is or. Now if I say instead of and, I have another terminology here, or. Okay. So in the Excel file, if I say or 10 or 20, so what is the output would be? Let's see. It is giving me everything almost. Okay, it is giving me everything. So what is the difference between and or here? So the and is something like the first statement and the next statement will be true. If both the statements are true, then only it will give you the output. Okay. And or means if I, instead of or, in this case both will be same because I have a very less data. But or condition is something like any of the condition will be it should be fine, either of the two. So let's see the or condition here. Okay, row ID greater than equals to 1 and or row ID less than equals to 3. Do I have anything row ID less than greater than equals to 3? We don't have, right? I have 1, 2 and 3. So if I execute these two conditions, what could be my output? What do you think? What will be the output? Row ID greater than equals to 1 or row ID greater than equals to 3? What could be the output here for me? It will give me no results, or it will give me all the records, or it will give me no records, or it will give me only 1, or it will give me only 3. What would it give me? What do you think here?
It gives all
Let's
the
see.
records.
All records? Everybody
Yeah.
same? Has everybody just answer me this question?
Yeah, all three records will be.
Okay, all 3 records will be displayed. Okay, let's see that. Okay, let's try to execute it. So all 3. Why? Because in this case, this condition is satisfying. We have couple of column greater than equals to 1. So 1 is equals to 1, 2 is greater than 1, 3 is greater than 1. Okay, so this condition is satisfying, but this second condition is not satisfying. But still, we have a or condition. So any of the conditions satisfied, it will give you the data. But instead of or, if I put and here, then what will be my output? What do you think here?
It
Record
displays all 3.
All 3?
only 3.
Only 3? Okay. And what else? I just want to vote it. Okay. Okay. Only 3. Only 1. What is the output? You tell me now. What is the
No,
output?
no.
Good.
No, no. Yeah, all 3.
All 3. Okay. What about the others? All records. Just tell me. It's not like right and wrong here, right? We are just trying to understand what would be the output here if I run it. You want me to execute? Okay.
All 3
I'll
will
do
be.
this.
No,
All 3.
only one. One.
No, no. I think no records.
Only one, yeah.
Why 1 records here? Tell me. Because this both conditions should be satisfied. So 1 is greater than 1. Fine. But when you go to the next condition, it is 1 is greater than equals to 3? No, right? So let's try to understand this. So I have 1, 2, 3. So what is my condition? As I told in the end condition, first condition would be, let's take first condition for the row ID equals to 1. What is my condition? 1 is greater than equals to 1. Okay. And 1 is greater than equals to 3. This is true. Either greater than equals to, this is true, but this is false, right? Correct?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, yes.
True. Yeah. And the second condition is false. So this will not come into picture because in the end, both should be true. One true, this is true. This is discarded. Second condition is 2 is greater than equals to 1 and 2 is greater than equals to 3. Is this this is false condition, right?
Yes.
So this is false. So this also discarded. But last condition would be 3 greater than equals to 1 and 3 greater than equals to 3. In this case, this is true, this is true as well. So this record will be come into picture. That's why if you run this data, we are getting only the row ID equals to 3. Make sense now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is about giving the condition on the numbers. Now let's go to uh, the columns here and try to put a filter on customer name. Okay, try to do that. Let me remove it. Put a filter on customer name. So try to see customer name. Now, if you see this number, this is if you expand the filter for the numbers, you'll get number filters here. Okay, when you are expanding the text kind of data, it is saying the text filters. This is the difference, and the options also will changed. It is now equals, doesn't equal, begins with, ends with, contains, all these things will come into picture. Whereas in the numbers, it is coming like greater than, less than, all these things. So that depends what kind of data it is there. Based on that, the filter will be changed. Okay. So now here, if I say text filter equals, okay, equals means in this case, it will be very much the same value I want to put it. Okay. What is the value? I want to be specified here. Okay. So clear. This is quite annoying, but let's do that. Okay, clear, cute. I want to specify here directly exactly whatever the value I have in the customer name, same I want to give it here. Clear, cute. Now, if I put only those customer will come into picture. Okay, make sense? So if this we need to implement in database, what do we need to do? First of all, let me check what exactly the data would be. So select a format. Let's take clarity only. Okay. So I want to say customer. Sorry. Let me customer name
First.
equals to. Then I need to put in a single quote because this is a string. Okay. Just remember that when you are inserting the dates and when you are inserting the name, you are putting a single quotes, right? Same when you retrieving also, we need to put in a single quote. Okay. Clear. Now tell me, now the data is what, how it is showing? It is which case? It is just a camel case, right? The first initial letters of the each word is on capital letter automatically. I inserted like this only. So say this is coming like this. Now I'm inserting or I'm retrieving the data. The spelling is correct, right? Yeah. So I am retrieving with an uppercase. Will that work? What do you think?
No.
Will not work. Okay. Okay. So let me just insert it. It will work because By default in SQL Server, right, the case sensitivity feature is not enabled. Okay, so here this clear good and this clear good both are same. There is no much difference in between these two because both are under different cases, but it will work out still. So I will tell you how to enable it, but this is good, I think so, because whatever I want to put it, I can put it, and the output would be whatever the store inside that it will come up. But I'll show you in the next class that if you want to enable it, how to enable it. But if you enable it, that is a headache for you because you need to be specify how you are doing it. Okay. All right. So this is the first point. Now comes to next part. Now say something like interesting we will do. So customer name, again filter, text filter, say equals to, doesn't equals to, you know that, like I'm not discussing that. You can, that is a homework for you that we can do it, like doesn't equals to, how to do that. Okay, but I will say begins with, ends with. This is very interesting. Okay, so let's take begins with. Okay, so I say begins with P or B. I'm just giving a word, just a single letter. So it is saying that give me the customer name starting with B. If you see, automatically all the customer got filtered where the first name, the first word is B. Okay, which filter I used? I used the begins with. Okay, begins with B. Okay, if I want to use this feature in database, same one, same to same, I want to implement in the database, then I need to introduce to a operator called like operator. Okay, and one more thing, if you want to put some comments in between, okay, in SQL Server, you can just put it like this. Okay, say like operator, so this will not execute, it will come as a green line and just it is a comment, single line comment. Okay, like operator. So the like operator, how it will work out is, say I said C, right? Suppose I want to, let's take, imagine that this data is like we have multiple P's are there. Just imagine, assume that, okay? So we have n number of P's, P started with the P customer are there. So how will I will do it here? Instead of doing this, I say like, okay, customer name like, single quote, started letter with P, okay, and in this case we are not specifying anything, right? So let me click on that. We are not specifying what is the next character would be, like it will, I'm just giving that it start with the B, but after that what, we are not specifying in Excel. But in case of database we need to specify. Okay, it started with the P and ends with what, ends with what means how many characters it should be. Okay, so there is two operators would be, let me just put it in this case. In this case, the like operator, and there will be two wildcards we need to use. Okay, wildcards. Okay, wildcards, it will be, one will be the percentage and second one will be the underscore. Okay, this is underscore. Okay, underscore, you know, right? Yes, which is underscore. Okay, underscore. So here the percentage is all characters, and this one is a single character. We'll discuss so many examples, no worries. So like I say P, then ends with any characters after that. I also put percentage. Okay, P percentage. We'll have a multiple examples for this, don't worry. So I'll say P percentage executed. So it will give you whichever the column name start with the P and ends after that any number of characters. That is a percentage. Now think P percentage is giving this. Suppose P, I say underscore. What could be my output? I said that underscore means a single character. Any output I will get it here?
No.
What do you think? No? Okay. Let's take an example of this. No result, because in my order tables I have only P, after that multiple characters. See, E, T, E, K, R, I, Z, something is there, multiple characters. I don't have any customer name which is like P and E. That's it. If there is a customer called P, E, that's it. Then this is satisfying here. For the E, for the single character E, I am giving here underscore here. Okay, make sense now? Clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now I think I should stop it here, and I'll show you one thing before ending this things and all. Let me see any filters I have applied. Clear filter. Let me remove the filter. Let me save this file. Okay. And suppose I'll show you very interesting thing is that suppose this file is there, right? This order date, whatever the orders table, all the data are there. I just want to insert this as a table inside the SQL Server, this same data in the Excel. How I will do it? Because I need this, because this is our base table will be for our, because we can't, if I give, if you create this table like this and inserted all the records from the Excel, it will take 5 days at least, because there are almost 9994 records are there. Okay, so we will not do that. So what we will do is that instead of doing all these things, I will tell you one proper way. Okay, so once you created this, right, this is the last ask for the class. So on the right click on the database, whatever the database you created, just carefully observe this. Okay, right click on the database, click on the tasks. Okay, again I'm repeating, right click on the database. Okay, tasks, then there is an import and export. Both options are there. So there is an import option is there. Import data. Okay, because we want to import the data. Then click on the next. And since we want to import the data from the Excel file, the first in the drop down, select Excel. Okay, clear? And this file I'll provide you after this class, and just save this file in somewhere in your folder or somewhere and browse it from that and select that file. This is the file which I want to import. Okay, sales data, open. No need to change anything here. It will be 97 2023 whatever maybe. Next. Then in this case, next I select my source from where I will get it. Now this is my destination which I want to keep it. Choose destination. This time I'll select the last option, which is called the SQL Server Native Client 11.0. Something will be there. Okay, just select it. Clear? And automatically the server name, your authentication, and your database also will come into picture. So I am importing the this table into the SQL demo. Okay, but you can choose your database. Suppose you have a number database, you can choose which database you want to export it. So I'm just putting the SQL demo only. Next. Any questions up to now? Any steps you want to repeat me?
No.
Okay. So now the next would be the next. Okay. Then nothing needs to be done here. Simply next. Here you just have a complete more number of things are there. You just select the first one, first tick box, the orders. Okay. And give a name, because the first time if you see this, we already give a order, we created an order table already. Okay, so I just want to give a name proper here. So just click on this, and that order dollars is there, right? In this case I'll say just renaming it. Okay, it says sales order, something like that. Okay, sales order. You can give any name, it doesn't matter. Now next, and next, finish. See, once it is finished, it is saying that 9994 rows got transport. Okay, automatically. Close. Now right click on this one and just refresh. Okay. Then expand the table. Automatically, there one table will be got created. Okay. Now see the table. So as you know that how to retrieve the data from this table. What statement I will use?
Select star from orders.
Correct. So I will say select star from my sales order. Okay. Execute. So you'll get exactly whatever there in the Excel, right? Same, we will get all the data here. Okay. So that you have a ample numbers of data to work on. Okay. Everything we will get it. Whatever there in the Excel, same way we will get it here. Make sense? Any questions? Why I created this? Because this is the baseline table we will work on from the next class to further digging into the SQL concepts. Okay, clear?
Okay. And
All right.
can you
Hmm.
send all this recording section by tomorrow, please? So it will be easy to, I mean, recollect everything.
Yeah, see, this is recording parts. I need to check with them because that recording will be saved in the cloud only. That is not on my system, rather. So the person who is, I'll check with. I'll ask them to send it as immediate as possible. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I think I'm done. I'm open to any questions you have.
No, Samir, I'm
So
good.
okay. So how is the session for you? Any suggestion, any feedback, or any slowness, or I'm going any faster way, something? Anything you want to convey?
Actually, I have one question, Samir. So,
Hmm.
is this in real time? Are we going to extract data like this, or
No.
I mean, like,
So basically, creating of the table and insertion of the tables data that will not do. Basically, we'll have a already a predefined tables with the data. We'll
mhm.
see the select
By
only
using
select.
this? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, select that have more functionality like select, subqueries, all these things, joins, all these things. But
Mhm.
basically, we'll do the select only.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if it is denormalized data? If it is normalized, okay, fine. We are using the SQL queries and we can retrieve data.
Hmm.
Uh, what if it is
Normalized, normalized in
denor?
the sense it is across scattered across the multiple tables, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, then we have so many options. We have joins, then we have subqueries, then
No,
CT,
no,
all these things.
denormalized. You said yesterday normalization and denormalization, right?
Oh, this is
Usually,
an example. This is an example of a denormalization only. That
oh,
just now we exported the data, right? There is no rules. There is nothing there. It's just dump. Okay. So this is a clear-cut example of a denormalized database or
from
the
the
tables. We
Excel,
can say. Yeah. Because
from,
did you specify anything like which column or it could be null, right? There is no specification at all on the table. But if you talked about a business intelligence point of view, right, Shaileja? So,
mm-hmm,
like any kind of data analyst or business intelligence project you are working,
mm-hmm.
there is no such rule actually. The normalizations rules will work whenever you are working for a transaction system. Okay, where
Suppose if
just
it
like
is
a
like yeah, banking. Suppose
yeah,
banking, we need to
yeah,
prepare some reports for
right.
banking, like
Hmm.
customers, how, yeah, that case, how it
Yeah,
works.
yeah. That I'll show you when I'm doing in a Power BI. That time finance data I have. So that time we will
Mhm.
build the model and we'll see how to normalize there, denormalize there, how to use that. Okay, no worries. Now the main agenda is to understand the database concept very
Oh,
thoroughly.
that-
Okay, yeah. Okay. Any further questions?
Did you say that schema is different from the database? Like you have
Right,
you
right,
can use it.
right.
Yeah.
So the database is something like a container. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And inside that we can have a number of schema. You can say that something like in your system, right? You are creating a main folder, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
inside that, let's take suppose you say that data. My folder name is data, okay? Inside that, I can create multiple subfolder also, right? Suppose I put personal, then I say that office, then say I say bank, I say something. So what does it mean? Personal means the personal related data, my any kind of my ID proof or any kind of related to me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose bank statement or any such information, the folder. So that one folder you can say it's a schema. Okay. So inside that related information only you need to store. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. Now you created a SQL demo
Hmm.
database,
That
right?
is that is
That
a
is
database. Yes,
that's a
that's a
database.
database. Yeah,
And inside the database, we can have any number of schema.
correct. And if you are not specifying any schema, the default will be DBO, database object. Okay.
Oh, got it. So in MySQL, it shows like create a schema. Just when I right click, it shows this. It shows like create a new schema in the connected
Mhm.
server. So when I
Mhm.
create the schema, it shows that image, right? That small image near that whatever name I give, like a
Mhm.
SQL demo. That image
Mhm.
itself seems to be a database, and inside
Or
that
is it?
I see it shows create tables or something like you can
Okay.
import
Okay.
the data, that import wizard, everything is comes like when I right
Okay.
click, but it
Okay.
shows that a schema with a database image, so I got confused with that one.
Uh, okay. Now, that's fine. The hierarchy is same here also. Like database, then under that database schema will be there. But here the problem is if you are not creating a schema, the schema here, let me share my screen to you. So it will be
Mhm.
easier. So here the problem is this is a database object, the icons. Inside that actually if you create, there will be no schema in the sense specifically there will be no schema available here. Okay. Instead of that, it will be just creating defaultly the DBA schema. So that's maybe in the MySQL. It is something like what is the first level of icon it is coming in your case? Nothing? I'm not sure about the MySQL because I never worked on the MySQL. So what is the first level of data? First level of icon, what is coming here? What is whatever is coming in the SQL Server database, right? What exactly it is coming in the first place? Hello, Vale?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was muted. So here it shows like a circular database we have, right? The example
Can you
database.
can you share your screen if possible?
Yeah, sure. Hold on.
Just give me a second. I'll need to give the rights to you. Just give me a second. Now, please go ahead. Please share the screen.
Uh, Hold on for a moment, please.
Sure.
I do not have the permission to share right now, so I'm working on it.
I can understand. So we'll do it next class, Bali. Whatever the confusion there, it's fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is not stopping you to create anything, right? That's
Yeah, it's not stopping me to do that.
okay.
Yeah, like it shows, but when you show itself, right? When you right click it, it shows, right? When you can create any number of schemas, right? It shows whether it shows. I'm not sure with that.
No, that it will in the SQL server, that option will not come into picture here. So in the in the what you call the IDE version, there will be no schema you will be creating. So that we need to do through the commands only in SQL server. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
we can't create through that procedure. Only
Mm.
database we can create,
Mhm.
and the tables you can create, but schema we will not able to create. We need to create from here directly. You like create
Okay.
schema name. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only difference. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. Yeah. Thank you guys.